Could you just give me a minute? I'm texting someone. I'll get back to you. Okay, I'm done. How would you describe what I just did there? Was it rude, disrespectful, unprofessional? I'd say all of these. And yet, almost all of us have done this at least once. We expect the person in front of us to wait because our commitment to this feels more important than being present in the moment. According to research done by TEDxAl, average screen time for Gen Z goes up to 7 hours a day. 7 hours. What's odd isn't how large this number is, but how normal it feels. Instead of starting our mornings off with a light stretch, we tend to stretch our arms towards our phones. Nowadays, choices like these don't feel conscious, but they are. And that is where economics enters the room. Let's say each one of us is an economic agent. All of us buy, some of us sell, and a select few produce, all which are factors that influence markets. But I want you to step away from the stock exchange for a moment and look at the exchange happening in this room. Because you aren't only negotiating in dollars or dirhams, you are dealing in a currency that is unknowingly more precious. Your time, energy, and attention. Aren't these the fixed supply of resources you wake up with each day? You don't get to print more, and you don't get to borrow endlessly without consequences. And yet, just like consumers in a market, we are constantly deciding where to allocate them. Now, you might be getting a sense of where this talk is heading to, but let me make one thing clear. We often hear the word economics and picture bundles of cash, crashing markets, and complicated linear graphs. But at its core, economics is the study of how people make decisions when what they have is limited. And that describes every single one of us. To understand this, we must go back to the basics. Let me introduce you to the idea of scarcity. Human wants are unlimited. The promotion, the perfect social life, the 8 hours of sleep, the success, and the balance. However, the resources to satisfy these wants are limited. This exact imbalance creates scarcity, the fundamental economic problem, and the reason why economics exists at all. If resources were infinite, we wouldn't need to choose. But because they aren't, every yes you say is also a no to something else. That is called opportunity cost. Famous economist Adam Smith published a book titled The Wealth of Nations, an influential piece of work that explored the free market economy, labor productivity, and other forces shaping economic prosperity. One aspect of this seminal work that caught my attention was the theory of the invisible hand. Smith argued that when individuals act in their own self-interest, they unintentionally contribute to order and well-being in society. Structure emerges, not from control, but from millions of small, independent choices. Think about a busy road. No one controls every car. No one stands above the highway directing each move. Each driver is simply trying to get where they want to go, safely and efficiently. And yet, traffic flows, cars stop, and people merge. Order appears, not because it was planned, but because these exact choices create structure. This is the invisible hand. And what's fascinating is that it doesn't only just apply to global markets or highways. It applies to the market inside your head. Your life is an ecosystem of competing interests. Once you start to view your choices through the lens of the invisible hand, you realize that acting in your own self-interest, guarding your calm, investing in your skills, choosing where your attention goes, doesn't make you selfish. It makes you sustainable. When you manage your internal wealth of nations well, you're not just surviving. You have a surplus to give to others. However, the problem we face today is what I like to call an internal inflation. We live in an attention economy where every app, every notification, and every urgent email is trying to devalue your currency. And if you spend your attention on everything, it eventually becomes worth nothing. You end up bankrupt, exhausted, and distracted. So, how do we fix our personal economy? First is to audit your spending. When you reach out to grab your phone first thing in the morning, ask yourself this one question: am I buying this, or is this buying me? Next is to respect the scarcity. Acknowledge that you cannot do it all. Choosing one path means letting go of the other, and that isn't necessarily failure. It's just good economics. And lastly, invest. Don't just spend. Spending is gone forever, but investing in a friendship, a skill, or even rest is an allocation of resources that improves your long-term capacity. Adam Smith looked at the chaos of the 18th century and saw a hidden order. Today, I'm asking you to look at the chaos of your 24 hours and see the same. Because you are the CEO, the consumer, and the producer of your own life. Your time is the most valuable commodity you will ever own. So manage it like it matters. Because in the end, the most important market you will ever manage isn't the one on the news. It's the one running behind your eyes in the choices that you make today. Thank you.